all the members here, and we're 2 minutes early, so we're gonna call the meeting to order early. That's all right. We'll entertain a motion to adopt the meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, none opposed. Approval of the previous meeting minutes, those were emailed out, and we also should have a hard copy. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second. All right, any discussion, changes? All in favor say aye. All right. Public input. First of all, let me welcome everybody. It's good to see this many folks out. Any public input tonight?
Hi, I'm Brian Jones, Director of Pickens County Park and Recreation. Rob will need to attend the meeting tonight just to ask some questions about, the airport advisory, getting a mobile home. It used to be the old Boys and Girls Club. And I just wanted to let y'all know that we will be starting baseball about March and April. So I didn't know how that fit within your timelines as far as getting the mobile home moved, if you're still interested in it. But we were going to be doing, our baseball program, about 400 something kids. Open day should be toward the middle of April. So we'll have to rewire some stuff and, get everything stabilized. So I just wanted to let you know that from my perspective. So.
Any idea of what drop dead date you may have?
End of February would be drop dead date, in my opinion, because that way, if it's not end of February, 1st of March, that way we'll have enough time in case there's any electrical with the scoreboards that has to be rewired. We'll have to cap all the water, we'll have to cap the septic as well, and get everything stabilized, and that way we'll at least get it to where when we do our opening day, which will be in April, it'll be decent enough where the kids won't, completely destroy it, turn it into a mud pit.
They might enjoy that.
they might certainly. So, but that's one to just give you my 2 cents on that. So,
Okay. Anybody got any questions for Brian before you?
Brian, are you looking at putting the fence back and all, whatever has to be taken down?
Yes, whatever needs to be removed will be replaced back. We don't have a lot of vandalism at the park, but we do have enough to we have to keep the cars from entering the park as much as possible. So, anything that is needed to be taken down, yes, we will replace.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Committee and authority member reports.
Committee report. We've gotten through the CIP that's in place as we filed with the state, and my understanding is they've acknowledged receipt and satisfaction of condition. Next committee report, I've been working with Phil a bit and his team on hangars, T-hanger project that we've talked about there. As we get into the engineer's report, Phil and team will have some numbers for us and some projections there. We're at the point now where we can present this to the commissioners, the airport authority, and probably the development authority as well, since they will likely be the ones signing the loan agreement if we move forward with this. We're to that point where we're comfortable putting a packet of information in front of them, asking for approval so we can move forward. On a maintenance note, which again will come in the detail, will come in engineer's report. We've got a safety issue out there with the rotating beacon. We've talked a bit about that, and I think you guys are aware of some of the activities on it. We're close to replacing that thing, and that's the most efficient way to get it not repaired, but operational long-term. So that's the committee reports.
Thank you. Why don't you move right into the treasurer's report?
Treasurer's report, passed the numbers down to you guys a few minutes earlier. They got those out to me recently, and you can take a look at the numbers there. We are from, and this is the report as Faye provides it. That gives you the format. It's different than what we've looked at in the past. So if you guys have any questions after review, any specifics you want to dive into, happy to try and answer questions there.
Any questions on the financial report?
Financially, the operation still looks pretty solid. Nothing that is unexpected in those numbers from my perspective.
All right, no
Thank you.
questions, we'll, show the financial report review. Airport manager,
Greetings and salutations. I have given you some handouts right now. First one, we'll just start with November fuel sales. Had some inclement weather and rain delays, temperature wise, but we're still on track financially. And as of this weekend, I'm sitting on Jet A 5,800 gallons approximately and 100 low lead 1674. I would like to talk to the board about spending money to buy another load of 100 low lead before the end of this year. So it will come out of this budget if you think that's a good idea. We may be able to carry it to the 1st of January, but we're getting close. And fuel prices right now are running 3.1984. So about the same as we paid for it last time. But our returns are hanging in there quite steadily. Second page that you have is going to be, let's see, what we got? The sheet for the move for the triple wide. You'll see one sheet from Shannon's Mobile Home Movers and Grading, and at this time I would like to, with your permission, let Shannon rise and explain the itemized sheet for the move for the mobile home on his bid. If you guys are okay with that. He's going to explain what they're going to do. This will be for your edification or what you need to prep, because his timeline, should he be hired, will directly impact when you need to turn everything off and close it and put caps on everything and get ready to go.
Okay.
If you guys are okay with it, I'd like to have Mr. Shannon say a few words.
Some of y'all may know me. I know you remember me,
Yes, sir.
LJ. I've been moving these things for 17 years. The itemized bill that's in front of you, this thing is a flat triple wide roof, and it's had rafters set on top of it, trusses built, and it's been wrapped in metal all the way around. So the price is, I'm getting a subcontractor, a real carpenter, to remove these pieces and put them back on. Is what the first $2,000 to $4,000 parts of this is. And then the rest of it's itemized as it goes. We've got to have a boom to set the trusses down to keep from damaging them so we can use them back. The new pickets, I roughly counted them around the porches. You got to replace them, Georgia state law, when you move any kind of a porch or a structure like that. And I roughly figured they're $1 a piece, and there's about 1,000 of them all the way around. It's what that is. And then there was some concerns about the footings that goes under it. As of April 2007, they make you put ABS plastic pads, state of Georgia does, under every structure now. And that is replacing them with those, so there's no settling or any concern with it settling at all. The new tie-down system, you can't use the drilling anchors anymore. They changed that at the same time. You have to use the new tie-down system. It's basically 2 pans and 2 rods on each corner of the structure, and any way the wind hits it, it drives it deeper in the ground and keeps it from removing or tipping over or falling off the walls. The move and set up the home is $5,400. Take the home apart is $3,800. That's, you have to go in and separate it, and this particular one don't have any inside walls, so the 2 main sections has to be pre-made studs built up to hold the roof up, so when you move it, the roof won't collapse on it. That's what that is, to move it and set it up. So the total is $20,000, and as far as Brian's concerns, I went by and looked at it, last Thursday, I think it was.
Yeah.
If we can come out the lower side, you won't have to worry about any fences or anything, we can come out to the parking lot with it, that hurt anything. So that won't be a problem. And if they decide to let me do it and give me the go-ahead, if we start on it in the next week or so, it'll be gone and set back up by the end of January.
That's excellent.
Be moved, set up, ready to go, move back into it by the end of January.
Any permitting or anything required for the move on this thing?
There will be a building permit that y'all will have to get. The rest of it to go on the highway, to pull it from A to B, I furnish all that, because it's under my insurance when I'm using it. But probably, since it's for the airport, the General County Airport, they're probably gonna, or Pickens County Airport, they're probably gonna waive all that for you, as far as permits and all that stuff goes. Now, there is an issue with this that people's not aware of. On a manufactured dwelling house, which is a mobile home, you have to put the little state stickers from the state of Georgia in. This is not a HUD home. This is an engineered home, so it don't require those. So there's no inspection by the state or anything like that. It's got to be done on this like a regular house.
Okay.
So all you'll have to do is get the proof to the commissioners to move it. I'm sure they'll waive all the fees for it.
Is there anything that would cause this price to go up from?
No,
That is a fixed price set up?
that's a fixed price, yes.
Okay.
My price don't change. If it takes me, if I spend every penny on it, don't make a dime, my price does not change.
Shannon, what about insurance? If something, do you cover that?
Yes.
So it's insured during the move itself?
Yeah. And if you would like, if I get the bid, I'll even get a $20,000 bond with your name on it. So if something goes wrong, you can cash the bond in. I've done that a lot. Anytime you go to Howell County, you have to have a $20,000 bond just to cover you. So I've already got that in place. I can get one with whoever's name on it needs to be on it. That way you're covered both ways.
Any questions? Okay.
Well, this is my ignorance. Does the foundation pads, is that replacing concrete footers?
It's replacing the very bottom of the concrete footer. It's a round, like a big
It's a-
donut pad of plastic
Yeah.
that the bricks themselves sit under. We've gone under the trailer, there are 48 pylons underneath that triple wide, 48 of them.
Wow.
So when you put those on the new required Georgia state law pads with the concrete blocks that are there with it now, we will have a few blocks left over, and then the new tie-down system, we don't anticipate any movement. Now, there'll be a follow-up inspection after so many months. He'll come back out and.
But yes, to answer your question, it does take the place of concrete.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I think the commissioner was looking at full footings, but he's
Yes, he's saw the error of his way.
satisfied with.
Yeah, we're saving money, and it's going to work. It's going to work.
Have you discussed with Shannon how funds transferred and so forth?
No, the commissioner was gonna, once we settle on it, there's, on this worksheet you have, there's a couple of memos at the top that, were just announced today by the commissioner. The third one on there is that, in parentheses, new bidder, I have to get one more bid. I've got two firm, one I'm itemized, and the new one said he will have his in no later than Monday. But I anticipate that about 40% higher than what we got right now.
So in other words, from what they said to be legal, you gotta have another bid.
Yeah. Just to avoid the appearance of impropriety, I'm gonna have 3 bids on everything. On the worksheet, you'll see that there are some estimates and some contractors and some prices. Just as information only, this is your worksheet, you can add or subtract, line through. But if you will look at Bird Electric, we received their estimate today to move all wiring, the computer lines, the fuel master lines, our credit card machines, AWAS, everything. It's $3,800, that includes all encompassing. This bid is good for 30 days. Then the Home Depot, that's a street price, I'm sure we can beat that. Or mud tape and 214 sheets of sheet rock to completely re-sheet rock and all interior walls. Bill Durham has agreed to, at his cost as a donation to the county, to hook up the drain lines to the existing septic tank or to pour and install a new septic tank should it be needed. Gus from Heating and Air Conditioning is also, he runs his own AC company, said he'd look through the heating and air conditioning systems, make sure the ducts are working and the pumps are all up and running at no cost as a donation to the county. The county contractor, whoever the contractor is for furnishings for the county, Mr. Wood and myself would like to see that FBO building with some new furniture other than a thrift store. So we're estimating a cost that may be high or low. I'm not sure. We'll be as frugal as possible. County needed, we're looking at a roll-off for any of the excess things that we take out of the, once it's set up, we're gonna start pulling the old cheap paneling out and start putting up sheetrock. We're gonna need a roll-off from the county. And his verbal to me was that the final payment, and if you look on his itemized estimate, the final payment is after the building inspector for the county inspects his work and certifies it as good to go. And that's his, that's where he stands with that.
So there may be some other things that need to go on this list, like
Yes.
flooring.
And that's why there's a worksheet here. I mean, we could do either carpeting or wood flooring, it's whatever we decide. Once it's in place and actually tied together and roofed, then we can start making some plans. But I wanted to give the commissioner an opportunity to spend 2016 funds before we roll into 17 and he gets up against the wall. If he finds $1 or $2 extra, we can sure use it. That's on that. I received a bid today for our AWAS calibration for the next year. Al Squires has decided to retire and he left 9 airfields in the lurch because no one's there to calibrate the AWAS. There is a person at Canton doing business as Transportation Services out of Colorado. They're actually the company that sold us our AWAS system, and then they moved overseas, but then they sold off that division to an American company. And his estimate for the year is $4,800 a year, and he has an itemized list. If it's an unplanned outage fee, a call out, lightning strike, bird strike, etc., he has a set price, $1,500 on a call out, $1,500 for facility visit per day for a flight check if something goes wrong. I'll make copies and circulate this among the board members, but it's just to show you, I'm getting 4 bids for AWAS maintenance, and we'll, I'll bring it to the board and you guys can figure out who you want to do the AWAS certifications. Any questions? Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Randy. See?
Thank you, sir.
Consider a special meeting to approve that and get going on. After the last bid.
I think we should bring it to the commissioner as soon as possible, because once I get the 3rd bid and you guys are satisfied with the bids, then expeditiously needs to happen.
Do we need a meeting to approve that? That's more of a commissioner thing, isn't it? If he's happy to fund it,
Yes.
and we can vote now that if it's approved by the commissioners, that we move forward with it. Is that fair?
That's exactly what I was.
So I make a motion that we accept the move of the building if approved by the commissioners.
Really are.
That's all the bids, you're not waiting on another one that.
Yes, I have another one in
We're
writing.
waiting on another.
I have another one in writing right now, $87,000.
Here's what I'm.
We're not approving the
We're not
expenditure.
picking
Right.
who moves it. We're saying we want.
We're saying that we want the building. And
Yes.
if the commissioner approves that expense, then we accept the movement.
So if the commissioner accepts the contractor,
Yeah, I
you're
don't know that
going
we
ahead.
have to even make a motion and vote on that, honestly.
No,
But
I think we've all said that we're in favor of
Yeah.
this, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
so the motion is required here.
We won't get that much for that last.
No,
No.
no.
Well, let me say this. It's fixing to be raining, which it has all day. It's gonna take 3.5 to 4 weeks to move this building and take it back up.
Mhm.
So, according to Brian's deadline, if you're gonna do it, you need to start on it as soon as you possibly can to get it moved and set back up, because the weather's gonna be a big factor in it now.
Yes.
And from my understanding from Rob, that there is money set aside for this already,
Yes.
so I think we will move, in a timely manner.
Correct on it.
To be sure, you want a motion? Just to
Yeah,
be sure.
let's be sure.
Let's be sure.
So Ed's made the motion, is there a second to that motion? All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Airport engineers.
Awesome. Three things we'll touch on. Ed mentioned the CIP went in, hit the deadline, everything's great with that. You're getting a new DOT, or you've gotten a new DOT project manager. He's just starting at DOT, so he'll be, his,
Met him today.
Ed actually came by, and we met with him last week, and, so he'll be good, he's just getting started, but he'll be working with Scott while he gets up to speed, so,
What is his name?
his name is Mike, M-I-K-E, Mike, G-I-A-M, Gembrone, which is G-R-O-U-N-E, I believe. So, Mike, yeah, which is fun. And so, anyway, we can email out everybody his contact information, but he literally just started about, just a couple weeks ago, so he's just getting, Scott's got him out and showing him some places, so that's good, so. And we met with Ed beforehand, and we told him, once he's set up and he's kind of up to speed, we'll have him either back up or we'll go down there and meet him with them, and so that was good. So CIP's in. Next, beacon replacement, so the beacon's out. What that requires moving forward right now is just a replacement of the beacon head. Basically come in, unbolt that, put a new one on there. That is an emergency repair, so you don't have time to wait for a grant and all that to take place. So what we can do is set that up so that's an FAA reimbursement at 90%. So we've gotten 3 quotes in from Trinity, TCA, and Precision Approach. Trinity was low at $11,260. So you'll get about $10,000 of that back. Commissioner's aware of that because it's an emergency repair. It's all good. The only thing we're waiting to move forward right now is we have the verbal on reimbursement from Scott for that. He's back in the office tomorrow and he'll email us something. We're gonna have the contract signed, hold it until we get that reimbursement in writing from DOT, and then we'll send this on. What that means is that they will have, at the schedule we talked to them about, they will have the new beacon head in place and you'll be operational by the end of January. And that's very, very fast for what we're talking about, because there's a 30-day ordering of the equipment and all that. So that's exceptional to be able to get that quick and set that up as a reimbursement. So you'll get that money back, probably be around July 1st when the next fiscal year comes up for the state. And then the third thing we have, is there any questions on the beacon at all? The beacon you have is an older 36-inch beacon. It'll be replaced by an FAA standard high intensity. Actually, you should be way better off with that. So that'll go in place. Third thing we have is we've been working with Ed, and we've got engineers estimate and all the breakout for the T-Hammer project. So Lauren can pass out that estimate. It's got the estimate and then all the things to make it FAA qualified as far as the design, the disadvantage business enterprise plan, all those things. So she'll pass that out. We worked with that and added in, make sure we had a lot of detail in there related to things like the restroom and the one end of the T-hanger, some of the heights of the doors and size of the buildings and all that. So that's a pretty comprehensive number you got in there. It's about 1.2. Previously, when you looked at rough estimates, I think with a little less things in there, you're around 1.1 or something. So anyway, and Ed can add to that work that we've been doing with, but that sets you up to be FAA eligible for it, to ask for reimbursement.
And what portion of this would be eligible for FAA reimbursement?
The site, so we'll divide it kind of in 2 categories, the site work and then the buildings themselves. The site works is reimbursable at 90%. They will not commit to a time frame when they'll reimburse for that. And so it'll be a little bit like, the property acquisition. You're gonna get that first, then you may do the ramp rehab, for example, and ask for this reimbursement. So there's not a definition on that time frame. The buildings themselves, because they're revenue generating, that will be paid back out of that 150 bond. So they won't do discretionary money on the buildings because they won't score high enough. So that would come at a slower pace than the rest of it. So how this would likely work is you'd scrub up all the site work and then you'd start doing the 150 of the building if you desire to do that.
But to get this thing moving forward, what we talked about in the past was borrowing the funds to build a building, and when the reimbursement comes in for that site prep, applying that to principal. The project cash flows very well for building these, and the revenues from the operations funding that payment. David, the previous authority, has done a lot of cash flow projections. I'll update those based on these numbers. I still see them cash flowing very positively. In fact, we had surplus each month based on the prior projections, and I see that. Our wait list is still holding strong at this point, and we've had others come in who want to get on that list. So I don't see a problem in filling those hangars day one when we have them ready for occupancy. I think we'll have, if not 100%, 90%, and actually I believe we'll still have a waiting list at the end of the period when we get these things built. So I see this being an opportunity to increase the amount of airplanes on the airport, the amount of traffic in and out of there, the add-on sales of fuel, service, all those type things, and the ad valorem tax base for based aircraft there. So I see it being a win for the airport overall. Any questions for Phil or for me?
So the next step is coming back with cash flow analysis
And I'll work on that this week and get that emailed out to the group so we can have that. Because of the need to sign a loan on this, I think we're dependent upon the, as I understand it, on the development authority for that signature. So I'll try to attend the next development authority meeting as well with that cash flow, so we can bring those guys up to speed and we'll proceed from there. So at that point, we'll be asking for authorities' approvals to move forward, which means we then trigger the activity with the bank and begin the whole loan process to get that secured, so we can then release engineering to do their work to get everything finalized for bids.
So I think that's pretty comprehensive. There's a lot of detail in it that's been added out of our meetings related to making the hangars as flexible as possible for the individual user, and some real positive things that are in there. So anyway, if anybody has any questions about that as they look at it, feel free to contact us. We're happy to help with that, and then we'll be available to attend development authority meeting or any other way we can help with that.
Two other comments that I'll make on top of this. If you look, there's an electronic sliding vehicle gate. We've talked a little bit about, with the addition of those hangars, the increased traffic on the ramp area. We've got enough traffic on that ramp as it is. Locals using it as a cut-through shortcut. And I'm one of those. I'm guilty. So, but we're talking about putting a carded access there so that those who are renting those hangars would have a card and access. Those that don't have reason to be on that property have to make that 45-second drive around the horseshoe. So that's what that sliding vehicle gate is.
And you see, as it said, you see it referenced on the second page as a standalone. So likely when we put the bid together, it'd be bid as an alternate bid. So you get the price, you get to evaluate if you want to do it. If you didn't want to do it here, ultimately we could do another federal project. So yeah, it gives you some flexibility on the decision making. So.
Second comment is that as we're doing this, we will, what's the term? Alternate bid or additive bid for the potential of two 50 by 50 hangars that would go north of the two new T hangars. We'll have to figure that into the cash flow to see if it makes any sense or not, but it's easy to tie those in because the ramp space will already accommodate those. And we could then have either transient hangars or larger hangars for turboprop type aircraft.
Twins and, yeah,
King
a
Air.
lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so won't necessarily be a part of this, but we're gonna throw it in there so we can see what the additional cost would be, and whether it makes sense to add those in or not.
Mhm.
And that's, don't know yet, don't really know the cost of that.
Yeah, no risk by putting it in there, and you see the price, decide yes or no. The bottom line, and the scale and everything you're doing drainage wise, doesn't add a dime to any of that, because what you're building infrastructure wise already serves that, so. Great, so we'll put that in there again. Anybody who looks at that has any questions, I'll be happy to answer that, and we'll be available for the development authority meeting as well.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Any questions? Thanks much.
All right, thanks.
Phil, are we still working with the potential hangars out on the horseshoe?
We're waiting on two things. One is Phil's reviewing the contract, so we can formally in that role, and also there was just a reimbursement or just a grant that came to the county that purchased again, like the fundraising thermometer that you see go up, the purchasing of the horseshoe funds as it goes up. So out of that fund, it gives a new kind of dividing line for what's now under the control of, what's been reimbursed essentially. And so we'll get a kind of a finalization outline. But right now, and I had a discussion with Bill the last couple of weeks about as soon as we get feedback on that, then we can.
And to that question, I've got the current contract out to 4 people right now who are interested in building hangars. And my comment to them was, go to your attorney, come back with some suggestions, and we'll negotiate the way most contracts are negotiated. I've not given them guidance, just tell me what gives you pause, and we'll work from there to try and reach an agreement. So right now there is interest in leasing out there. In talking with Phil this afternoon, my thought is for at least one of these hangars to put them out at the end of the horseshoe. It's just a storage space type hangar for aircraft. It doesn't require it to be on airport property, so to say. So we could enter into a lease with them and then have that lease transferred automatically to the airport authority once that property is owned by the airport authority. So we'll go ahead and get something built. And because this is a lesser demand type use, putting it out at the end at a lesser valued area makes a lot of sense. So start from the far end and work our way back to higher value property.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Old business, I think we probably talked about most of it. Did the letter go out to?
Letter has not gone out because we just haven't gotten it through the office here. I've got it in the hands of the team here, endeavors to get it out, but technically it has not been sent out yet. My goal was to have had it out last month. It will go out by Friday if I have to put stamps on it myself and send it out. So I'm tired of waiting on that to be done here. It won't be on county letterhead, but the letter will go out by Friday.
Okay. All right, any new business? Any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.